Good evening, Todd Hall. This is Dakota. I've been reading the book Leading with a Heart by Coach K with a foreword by Grant Hill. And pretty much this book is about how Coach K developed his leadership styles for different points of the season and ultimately how he leads his teams in general. So, this is a great read. It goes through Coach K's coaching career, from when he was an organizer in high school all the way to when he got to Duke and started winning national championships and whatnot. And, developing countless numbers of first-round draft picks and countless numbers of number one teams. It's incredible what he's done, really. So, and I have notes here just to make sure I touch up on everything that I want to say. So, he kind of developed different sets of leadership throughout the season, I guess you could say. So, preseason, he was huge on groundwork, laying the groundwork for his team. Now, he was also very big on organization, having core values, and ultimately developing leadership in each one of his athletes so that it wasn't one guy trying to lead a team or like a captain trying to lead the team. He figured out that if he could have a team of captains, or if all of his team had the mind frame or mindset as a captain, that ultimately the team would just lead itself. And he would instill if it was a business, he would instill management qualities in all of his employees so that it was not just one manager trying to help everybody out. Everybody could help each other out. So we go on to the regular season, teamwork, training, and rolling with the punches, and that's what we talk about a lot in our class throughout the year. We want to try and do important jobs with a bunch of people so that it's not just one manager or one leader doing a job. And I couldn't find this, more true, especially, being in baseball for countless number of years. You always try and create that cohesive bond with your team, and you try and, get everyone on the same page so that we're all working towards a common goal. And instead of it just being a bunch of individuals trying to gain value or get a promotion or, gain good graces with the coaches, we all want to kind of work together towards a common goal. Because ultimately, in business, in sports, combine the two, it's always towards a common goal, which is, to win a championship or to generate more revenue for the company, obviously. Preseason, he kind of goes into crisis management focus. If there's a problem that arises during a game, or if we want to relate it to business, if there's a problem that arises in the company, how can the team conform and kind of attack that problem together so it gets accomplished in the most quick way, in the most efficient way possible, instead of everyone just attacking it separately and doing it by themselves. We can have kind of a one thought process, but with a different bunch of ideas, but it's still heading towards the same direction. That's what Coach K wants his teams to think like. Here's just a quick quote from Coach K. "Leaders instill respect for authority by having a caring attitude, by being direct, by communicating regularly, and by being honest." And that kind of hit home with me, that one quote, because, we talk about all the time in leadership, being authentic. How do you be an authentic leader? And at first, you have to be authentic with yourself. You got to learn yourself truly and learn, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and you got to actually care about developing those qualities for yourself, developing those qualities for your team and your organization, so that not only are you making yourself a better leader, but you're making others better leaders at the same time while still trying to make yourself better. So, that quote right there, it just kind of hit home right away. And, that's what kind of captured me into this book, is that quote. Then we go into Coach K's another leadership. Almost everything in leadership comes back to relationships. And that's also, that also hit home with me. Developing relationships with people is, especially in this era of, heavy technology and how we can communicate with people through email and text messages. I feel like with leaders, that part of building relationships with other people kind of goes by the wayside sometimes. We invest so much into the job we're trying to do instead of investing into the person we're trying to do the job with, so that ultimately it's not about the job. It's more about it. I mean, it is about the job, but it's more about how can I work with this person to get the job done that we're doing the best that we possibly can. And just Coach K just tells us, and teaches us of his teams and how each individual is different and how you have to conform and be empathetic with different people in different situations so that you can relate and actually build relationships with different people. You gotta like take a step back almost as a leader and put yourself in their situation and be like, okay, if I had that happen to me, how would I be reacting differently, looking at this person now as his leader to try and help him with this situation and relate to him? And that's kind of what Coach K has done with all of his athletes. He tries to relate to them and put himself in different situations because, with basketball and football and sports, especially in general, a lot of high level athletes are coming from situations that aren't necessarily, blue, white, whatever collar situations. They're coming from broken homes and broken, systems that they've grown up in. And Coach K, as an early coach, recognized this. And he said, okay, I'm going to have to change the way that I think so that these athletes can come in and be trust and pour their hearts out to me so that I can get a better understanding of how to help these young gentlemen and further their careers. So Coach K was huge on building relationships and becoming empathetic to different people in different situations, and just ultimately, caring and loving the people that are around him, because, and that was big. That's big with Coach K. You have to generally give every ounce of your love and compassion and passion to become a leader, especially one of his magnitude, because like I said, he's dealing with so many different backgrounds and so many different types of people throughout this book that if he didn't have an open mind to possibilities that could happen with different people and possibilities of what people could become if he led them the right way, that's what he really wants to focus on, is, having an honest care and passion about what he's doing. And it emphasizes it a lot in this book. And I related that, compassion and passion to being empathetic and ultimately being an authentic leader. Because there is nothing worse than a fake leader who tells you one thing, but ultimately won't go the distance, won't care enough to do that thing. And he ends up doing another just out of laziness or just because it was the easier choice. No, Coach K always, and he stresses that in this book, that the right road is oftentimes the most difficult one, but it's the one that's going to produce the most results. And that's the one that Coach K really, really emphasized in this book, is taking the road of passion and taking the road of caring about what you're doing. So you're not cutting any corners as a leader. You're not putting a situation down by the wayside just because it doesn't completely relate to you or your life choices. No, Coach K stresses in this book that you have to be open-minded to your surroundings and the people that are coming into your life and what they're dealing with, so that as a leader, you can relate to them. And finally, this is a quote kind of that plays into that. Our basketball team is a family. Family is like a fist, complete with communication, caring, trust, pride, and collective responsibility. Family makes individuals part of something bigger. And right there, that's just like kind of what I just touched on. That's Coach K's kind of like however long he's been. I think it was like 30 some years of coaching in a nutshell right there. That's what 30 years of coaching has like instilled in his mind, communication, caring, trust, and pride, and collective responsibility. Right there, that sounds like the framework or mission statement or a vision for a well-ran organization, well-ran business, not just a basketball team. That sounds like a business. If you just take basketball out of that, you would think that business is thriving just based on that. So those are my findings. Coach K really hit home with me in this book. This is honestly one of the best books I've ever read. I'd read it again, cover to cover. And yeah, that's it. Those are my findings. Be an authentic leader, and you really have to genuinely care about what you're doing and have pride in your work for you to ultimately gain that level of leadership that others can gravitate around. Thank you.